Hello children, I welcome you all to a very interesting episode of EduSat. But today's program is not just interesting, it is very useful and important. Why do I say so? Because we will be revising MCQs relating to the poems that you would be getting for your matriculation examination. I have made an effort to compile various MCQs from all the poems that you have in your syllabus, so that you will be thorough and it will also help you in your revision. So children, let us look at the poems one by one. The first poem that we have is the Village Song. Now the Village Song, it tells us about a young girl who is going to get married, but she is nowhere wanting to get married. Why is she not wanting to get married? She feels that she is being summoned by the fairy folk in the forest, but her mother tries her level best to convince her. Now there are certain MCQs relating to this beautiful poem. Let us analyze them and see how clearly you have understood the poem. Now, the daughter defends her decisions, saying that the bridal songs and cradle songs have dash. As I have said that these are MCQs or multiple choice questions. So, you will be given multiple choices for each single question and you have to choose the correct option. So, what will be the first answer? The daughter defends her decision, saying that bridal songs and cradle songs have dash. What do they have? If you have read the poem thoroughly, I am sure you can answer. The answer will be cadences of sorrow. What is the answer? Cadences of sorrow. Okay? Not the other options. The correct option I have encircled in red so that you can know what is the correct option. Now, second question. This is a particular stanza that has been taken from the poem. See, it analyzes your thought process, how clearly you have thought about the poem and the ideas contained in it, and secondly, it analyzes how thoroughly you have remembered the poem. Yes? So, dash child. The world is full of pleasure, of bridal songs and cradle songs and sandal scented leisure. This is a stanza taken from the poem. So, what will be the child? What will be the child? Money child, sunny child, money child or honey child? How does the mother address the child? It is honey child. So, the correct answer is honey child. Honey child, the world is full of pleasure, of bridal songs and cradle songs and sandal scented leisure. Now look at the third question. Who are calling the girl to the forest in this poem? Now in the particular poem we find in a particular paragraph that this girl who is in no way wanting to get married gives all sorts of excuses. So, one particular excuse that she gives to her mother, that she is being summoned. How is she being summoned? Who are calling her? So, the options are birds, streams, friends, fairy folk. But the correct answer is the fairy folk. Now, look at the next question. The flowers that glisten in the poem Village Song are dash. What are the flowers that glisten? Now, you need to be very thorough with all the stanzas in the poem. You need to have the poem by heart. You need to be very thorough with the meanings of each stanza, otherwise you will not be able to answer the questions correctly. Questions will be set from anywhere and everywhere. Every line is important. So, you have to remember the entire poem thoroughly. So, what are the flowers that glisten in this poem? There are so many options are given. For example, champa, mogra, daisies, tulips, jasmine and rose, but the correct answer is lotus and lilies. Now, look at the next question. The mother in the poem Village Song tells her child that the world is full of dash. We have many options. Like I told you, this particular poem that has been composed by Sarojini Naidu tells us about a girl who is not wanting to get married. She gives her mother all sorts of excuses. Like some kind of fairy folk are calling her, she is being summoned by so many supernatural things maybe. But mother is wise. She wants to convince her daughter. Now, she tells her that the world is full of dash. What is the world full of according to the mother? The world is full of pleasure is the correct answer. Not sorrow, hatred or love. In this particular stanza, she tells her daughter that the world is full of pleasure. The bridal cakes in the poem are seen on the dash. Where are the bridal cakes in the poem seen? Are they seen on the fire? Are they seen on the stove, on the hearth or the oven? The correct answer is the hearth. They are seen on the hearth. Because in this particular poem, you have been described a particular marriage scene, okay, that is taking place in a village. So, many delicacies and savories are being prepared. One of them are bridal cakes. So, where are they seen? They are seen over the hearth. Now, the mother addresses the child as honey because dash. In this particular poem, you will also see the term honey child being repeatedly used by the mother. Now, have you ever wondered why is the child being addressed as honey child? Like in the previous slide, there were so many options. She could have addressed her as money child, bunny child, honey child, yes? But no, she is addressing her as honey child. Why is she addressing her in such a manner? Look at the options. The name of the child is honey. The child loves honey. Child is the sweetest to her mother. Honey is abundantly available in their village. So, what is the correct option? The child is the sweetest to her mother. That is why the child is being addressed as honey child. Clear? Now, moving on to the next question. The river isles in the village song are haunted by the dash. Sparrow, parrot, crow or quail. Okay. Now, you will hear the description of various birds in one particular stanza of the poem, but you need to remember which bird comes where. Yes, like you have many descriptions throughout the poem, but you need to remember how the girl is being summoned into the forest, how the mother is trying to convince the daughter for marriage. Similarly, you need to remember what is being described where in each particular stanza. So, what will be the answer of this particular question? The river isles in the village song are haunted by the quail. Okay? Now, the bride to be cannot resist the call of dash. Now, repeatedly this question has been coming for a few years in your annual examination. The answer is fairy folk. Do not mark any other option. Most children will mark birds, rivers, river isles and such, but the answer is fairy folk. And then, who was the first woman to become the president of the Indian National Congress? The answer is the poetess who has written village song. What is her name? Her name is Sarojini Naidu. So, Sarojini Naidu, who is the poet who has composed village song, she was also the first woman to become the president of the Indian National Congress. Clear, children? So, what will you do while reading a poetry or reading a poem is you have to be very thorough with the meaning of these stanzas. You have to be very thorough about the author, you have to know a little bit about the author. It is all mentioned in your text in a very precise way, and the glossary which provides a list of difficult words along with their meanings. Clear? Now, we have another poem which is All Things Bright and Beautiful. Now, we have a set of MCQs related to this particular poem also. Now, this particular poem was written by C.F. Alexander. In this poem, it has been said that all things, whether they are birds, whether they are mountains, whether they are flowers, human beings, everything is a creation of God. God has created all of us. He has created all things bright and beautiful. The wings of birds, the petals of flowers, they are all so beautifully colored. The mountains, the gorges, the valleys, the ravines, all are creations of God. Similarly, a man suffers or a man is happy and prosperous, they are also because of the will of God. Yes? So, let us see what the MCQs are. The first question, according to C.F. Alexander, all things have been created by dash. What is the correct answer? The correct answer is God. Okay? According to the poet, all things are bright and beautiful and all things are dash. Like I said, you need to be very thorough with the poem. You know, each stanza contains some very important things. So, it is wise and wonderful. In this particular question, we dash many beautiful things around us. Now, this is the meaning of the stanza. What does the stanza convey? Break, analyze, create, see and enjoy. So, the correct option will be see and enjoy. Yes. What has God given to the little birds? What has God given to the little birds? Tiny colorful wings. Yes. What has God given to the little birds? Tiny colorful wings. So, the answer will be tiny wings. Now, we spell the fragrances of the dash. What is fragrance? Fragrance is sweet smell. So, we smell the fragrances of trees, vegetables, fruits or flowers. The answer is flowers. Okay? So, the answer is flowers. The flowers are beautiful because of their dash. Anthers, pollen grains, leaves or glowing colors. Now, the answer is very obvious. It is glowing colors. We see all kinds of colorful flowers around us, is it not? So, the answer will be glowing colors. Now, we feel the change of dash. Sunrise, sunset, creations or seasons. The correct answer is seasons. We feel the change of seasons, is it not? We feel hot in summer, we feel cold during winters, we feel damp during rainy seasons. So, we feel the change of seasons. Flower is to open as bird is to dash. What do birds do, children? Talk, play or run? No, they sing. So, the correct option is sing. So, flower is to open as bird is to sing. Now, in all things bright and beautiful, the mountain tops look dash. What is the color of the mountain tops? Red, blue, green or purple? The correct answer will be purple. But remember, in certain cases, bluish red may also be been given. Not blue or red, bluish red. If the color bluish red is given, that is also the correct answer. Otherwise, if purple is given, then you will mark purple. You will not mark red, blue or green. The correct answer is here purple or bluish red. Only these two options are correct. Not only red, not only blue, not only green. It will be either purple or it will be bluish red, which also looks like the color purple. Clear? Now, how is the summer sun described in this particular poem? We have been shown in this particular poem that seasons, birds, flowers, human beings, they are all creations of God. And in this particular poem that C.F. Alexander has written in such a beautiful way, she has also described the summer sun. So, how has the summer sun been described? Is it painful? Is it unbearable? Is it hot or is it pleasant? So, the summer sun in this particular poem has been described as pleasant. So, children, we have discussed two poems so far. One is the village song, the other is all things bright and beautiful. Remember, you need to memorize the poetries, you need to be very thorough about the difficult words, as well as remember a few important bits about the poets also. then only you can be very thorough and answer all questions appropriately. Now, let us go to the next poem. What is it? It is Solitary Reaper. Now, in this particular poem, we have the poet who describes the experiences of an onlooker who comes across a solitary reaper. Yes. Now, where does she find or he find the solitary reaper? In particular regions of Scotland. So, let us see what the poet describes, how he describes and who the solitary reaper is and what has she been doing. 1. The poem Solitary Reaper is written by dash. Now, like I said, you need to be very thorough about the poet and a few important facts about his life. So, here we have William Wordsworth. This particular poem is composed by William Wordsworth. Setting of the poem is dash. Now, where has this poem been set? Like I said, William Wordsworth is describing the experiences of an onlooker when he comes across a solitary reaper in the mountainous regions of Scotland. So, where has this poem been set? This poem has been set in the mountainous regions of Scotland. It is not Thar desert, it is not Himalayas, it is not Gobi desert, it is the mountain regions of Scotland, which is your correct answer. Now, what does the poem depict? Like I said, William Wordsworth is describing the experiences of an onlooker. But what does the onlooker come across? Is it an old woman? Is it a girl's beauty? Is it a solitary woman or it is a solitary Highland lass? It is a solitary Highland lass, which is your correct answer. The correct answer is a solitary Highland lass. Clear? The poet was passing through a dash. So, where was the particular onlooker who has described his experiences? Where was the onlooker passing through? The poet has written about the setting, but he has also described about the passage through where the onlooker was passing. Was he passing through a field? Was he passing through a desert? Was he passing through a forest? No, he was passing through a valley. We have what is the girl in the poem doing by herself, which is your next question. What do we have in the next question? Activities of the girl. We know that in this particular poem, William Wordsworth is describing the experiences of an onlooker who is passing through the mountainous regions of Scotland. He comes across a mountain lassie, which is a young mountain girl. But what is she doing? Is she playing? Is she stitching? Is she dancing? No. She is reaping and singing. What is she doing? She is reaping and singing. Okay. Now, what does the poet ask his co-travelers to behold? Now, the onlooker has certain people who are there in that particular setting. What does he ask them to do? Does he ask them to admire the mountains? Does he ask them to admire the valleys, the birds or the solitary reaper in the field? The co-travelers are being asked to look at the solitary reaper in the field. Behold means to look at. So, what are the co-travelers advised? They are advised to notice the activities of the solitary reaper in the field. Okay? Now, the poet asked passerbys to dash, sit down, buy from nearby shops, admire surroundings or stop there and gently pass. The answer would be stop there and gently pass. Yes. In the line, behold her single in the field. In this particular line, the pronoun her stands for whom? For whom does the pronoun her stand for? Does it stand for some solitary woman? Does it stand for some solitary farmer? Does it stand for no one? No. The particular answer is solitary reaper. The poet asks the other passerbys to stop there to dash. What does he want them to do? Does he want them to admire the lonely girl? listen to the cuckoo's voice, enjoy the scenic beauty? No. He wants them to listen to the girl's song. Clear? That will be the correct answer. The poet does not wish to dash. Now, what does he not wish to do? He does not wish to know about the girl, speak to the girl, sing with the girl or disturb the girl. He does not wish to disturb the girl. Now, in this particular poem, children, that has been composed by William Wordsworth, he has actually described the experiences of an onlooker who has come across a particular solitary reaper in the mountainous regions of Scotland. Clear? Now, the song that the solitary reaper was singing while reaping her corn is a very melancholic song, and that stays in the heart of the author for all times to come. Even if he does not hear the song very often, he still feels that the song has a deep melancholic effect on him, and so that stays etched in his mind for all times to come. We will look at the next poem that you have in your syllabus, which is the Flower School. This particular poem is also very interesting. Let us look at the MCQs that you have. Now, the Flower School is written by dash. Who is the poet who has composed the poem The Flower School? The correct answer will be Rabindranath Tagore. Yes. And what do we know about Rabindranath Tagore? He is a Nobel laureate and his work Gitanjali, yes, received the Nobel Prize. He composed Gitanjali and he is a Nobel laureate, and the poem Flower School is written by him. Clear? Now, the poem The Flower School describes about dash. What does this particular poem describe about? Does it describe about storms, schools, forests or flower children? So, the poem describes about flower children. Now, dash rumbles in the sky. What do we see rumbling in the sky? Is it the sun? Is it the rain? Is it the wind? Or is it the storm clouds? The answer will be storm clouds. Now, coming to the fourth MCQ, dash comes marching over the earth. What is the correct answer? Rain clouds, storms, west winds or the moist east winds? The correct answer is the moist east winds. The moist east winds comes dash over the earth. Now, remember children, you have these stanzas in the poetry you need to remember very, very clearly. The answer is marching. It is not slowly, it is not aggressively. Flowers dance upon dash. Where the flowers dance upon? The flowers dance upon the grass. The flowers dance upon the grass in expressions of dash. How do they dance upon the grass? In excitement, unhappily or happily or none of these. So, the correct answer is happily. Clear? In this poem, the Flower School dash season has been described. Which particular season has been described by Rabindranath Tagore in the poem The Flower School? So, what will be the answer? The answer will be rainy season. In the poem, where are the flowers all the year round? Now, the poet has told you or tried to describe to you where the flowers are. So, the answer is at their school. The answer is at their school. It will not be in the garden, in pots, on your fields. The correct answer is at their school. Now, the flowers go to school dash. Where do they go to school? Where do the flowers go to school? Do they have a school near the sea, or do they have a school near the cornfields, or do they have near the river? No. The flowers go to school underground. So, in this particular poem, Rabindranath Tagore in fact describes the rainy seasons. He describes about flower children. He describes them going to school underground. He also says that most of the flowers, when they start to blossom, they have the arms raised up to the heavens, because like him, the mother of these flower children has become a star in the sky, and this evokes a sympathy in the hearts of all the readers, because we know how bitterly the poet Rabindranath Tagore is missing his dead mother. I am sure children, all of you have a clear idea about the MCQs and the kind of MCQs you will be getting in your examinations. I hope you will prepare well. All the very best from all of us.